Editors Hangout, the meeting point of journalists by journalists for humanity, society, and the country.
Good morning, you're welcome to another edition of the show Editors Hangout on Diamond 88.7 FM. Editors Hangout is a platform where seasoned journalists and editors converge to dissect and also discuss headlines that are raising eyebrows and also steering national conversation. So this morning we'll be talking about one of the core things that most Nigerians believe has been affecting the growth of the nation and ensuring that our political office holder ensure dividends of democracy get to the masses. And that topic is about corruption involving Nigerian prominent politicians over the years. We'll be looking at three critical pending cases. The recent one is the one of the former Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, and also we'll be looking at former Petroleum Minister Dizani and also former Kogi State Governor in person of Yaya Bello. We're looking at those three cases and then we're asking the $1 million question. Is it witch hunt or just the EFCC performing their own anti-corruption duties? We also discussed the upcoming gubernatorial election in Ekiti. As INEC, just yesterday, we got the report that have lifted bans on public campaigns, and that means that politicians and political parties can begin to do campaign and also ensure that they start their own move and their actions to convince people of getting votes ahead of the election in Ekiti State. My name is Adeyemi Adewale, and if you're just joining, it's Editors Hangout on your shiny Supreme radio station. With me on the show are my fellow journalist, Mr. Michael Abiodun Olariwaju, the General Manager of Diamond FM, and also Mr. Abiodun Akinwumi, News Editor here on Diamond FM, and Mr. Bayomi Adeniji is also going to be with us in the studio, and together we're going to be dissecting this topic that I spoke about earlier. But to the listener out there, you can still engage with us. You can share your thoughts with us on the show by calling in and also sending messages on WhatsApp. The number to call is 0913-655-6952. 0913-655-6952. WhatsApp is 0913-655-6864. 0913-655-6864. You can also listen to this program irrespective of your location by logging on to Diamond FM online platform. Listen to us on our website via www.diamondfm.net or at Diamond 887 FM on YouTube. You can obviously follow us live on YouTube, but you can also follow Diamond FM on every of other social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. At Diamond 887 FM. Before we get into the detail of the conversation, let's say good morning to my colleagues in the studio. Mao, good morning to you.
Good morning, the anchor man, and good morning to our listeners all over the world.
Mr. Biodo, good morning.
Good morning, honestly. Pleasure to be here again.
It's nice to also have you join me on the show. We're talking about a very critical and almost most Nigerians believe is the biggest issue in terms of Nigerian, in terms of one of the problems we face with our public office holder, and it's corruption. Now, we know that sometimes around 2 years ago, we saw what happened between the EFCC and also the former governor of Kogi State in person of Yaya Bello. Before that, we've had the former Minister of Petroleum, Dizani, also being probed in the United Kingdom about corruption. The UK court, we also hear the fact that that court has also resumed just on Monday, and they're going to resume trial by Monday, January 24 proper. We'll be coming into the detail of those. And we saw what is happening right now with Malami. And just a few days ago, when the FCC chairman was speaking, let's start with the Yaya Bello case. we've not really gotten anything. The last thing we got was the fact that the case have been adjourned. The FCC told us that the case have been adjourned towards the end of last year into 2026. But President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been accused of using federal agencies to which aren't opposition political orders in the country. Is this what we are getting with the corruption case under his own administration? Before we now go into detail of how these issues are in terms of the similarities that they have within themselves. Mao.
Thank you so much. If we go back into the history of anti-grafts in Nigeria, you find out that in the first tenure of this very Fourth Republic, there was a case of Adeyemi being tried for anti-graft purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as this went on, there were other cases that actually sprang up, like that of Ojus Okalu and so many other governors. This indicates that most of our political office holders were at one stage or the other of actually holding into office, abused their position, and corruptly enrich themselves.
Can we put it like that? Because you spoke about some of these cases, and it wasn't most of these cases, they're not being found guilty of those charges. So can we now look at them and say they've abused their office?
The political elites have always been using their positions and the loopholes in our constitution to actually escape sanctions from the anti-graft agencies. Even some that were actually found guilty and sentenced were given political pardon. You get the point there. You find out that this is one of the more reasons why, if you remember last week, why we were speaking about this anti-graft agency, especially with respect to Abaka Malami. Some people were saying that some of us here as editors are much more pro APC or this thing. But this has been something that has been long.
But it's nice that you've taken us there. But let's look at those, because I knew that was where we ended last week. Let's look at those that accuse some of us, all of us, let's put it like that, of being pro APC. Don't they have a point? Because now we are talking about Yaya Bello. Yaya Bello, no 8 way. Malami, who we know that might be going to the ADC. Malawi from EFCC 9 years is with the DSS.
But remember,
but Yaya Bello wants to go again for senator. And he has a case in court.
Ibori was tried in Nigeria. He escaped from the Nigerian judiciary, but was found guilty by the British judiciary.
Why can't he be found guilty in Nigeria?
Because of the loopholes in our laws. Because the elites are the ones in the house making laws, and the elites are the ones occupying the executive positions. So in most cases, you find out that most of the high-profile corruption cases, either it doesn't have an end in the judiciary, or one way or the other, they are being actually sanctioned in another land, but they escape from the Nigerian.
Now, do you think those that think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is using federal agencies to chase opposition? Do you think do you think they have a point?
When Obasanjo was in power, some people accused him of using these anti-graft agencies to.
We're not trying to compare. Let's just look at what has happened in the tenure.
Accuse the presidency.
But is it doing it? Because like I said earlier, when you look at Yaya Bello, he's still trying to go for senator. But I don't think Malami can do that right now because he's with the DSS. He's not even seeing the light of the day. While Yaya Bello is working freely in Kogi.
How many Nigerians have access to even 100,000 naira? And talking of somebody occupying office as Attorney General of the Federation for 8 years, became stinkingly rich to the tune of more than 200 billion.
But even
some of them,
Adewale is being paid for about 80 billion naira.
Some of these political elites, you find out that the money they accumulate is even more than the money that is needed to run a state. You get the point there. So that calls for a lot of questions about our political office holders. If Malami was the one that is arraigning people into before various anti-graft agencies, and now he himself
is being arraigned.
This calls for question. This makes us have to look back as Nigerians that what is really happening in our systems.
Now, Mr. Piotr, let me come to you. There are several things I want us to look into, but I want us to deal with this using federal agency to tackle this, so that we can go into why EFCC is not winning all of these cases, and why, like Mao said, when Iburi went out of this country, he's been charged, being guilty for corruption, and why those cases are being won away from our country, not within the country. We're going to look at the cases that EFCC also are submitting. Do they really have a chance with their cases and with some of their investigations, looking at what is happening with the Abilu? But let's look at this President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's situation. Do you also think so? Let me just get your opinion so that we can. Do you think he's in some way using the EFCC and other things to ensure that oppositions join the APC for the 2027 general election?
Well, that kind of accusation is not new in Nigeria, as Mao said. The same accusation was leveled against Obasanjo.
But we can't use that as
if Obasanjo,
let me ask you a question. Are we
But
using that as yardstick that even if he's doing it, he's right?
no, I'm not saying he's doing it, but what I'm saying is that that's one of the bit of democracy. There will always be accusation. But the most important thing is, will they be able to prove it before the court? Because as far as I'm concerned,
Now,
the most important thing is the conviction.
Let's look at the signs.
Okay.
I talked about Yabelo and Malami.
Doesn't
Sound like the truth.
No, Yabelo case is still in court. The only difference is that Yabelo was arrested. He was granted a bail. So between that bail,
Malami was granted a bail too, but DSS picked him up.
that means he has two cases for another offense. So that one now, once he's charged to court, he gets the bail. He can go and contest in Kebbi State.
What
Because
about Farouk?
which Farouk?
The one that Dangote alleged.
The,
Because he's almost similar to Yabelo.
yes, he has.
And he's also
The
still working
petition,
freely.
the petition has been sent to EFCC. The one of us has been withdrawn because at least the agencies that are similar in their approach. But let's see, they are still investigating. It's after investigation that it will be arrested. So Dangote alleged, and he wrote a petition. The person has been looked to. They have
And
to
withdrew from the ICPC and submitted it to
the
the
EFCC because
Does
they
that
are,
not raise questions?
no, they don't raise question because
Is it that they did not
no,
trust the
they don't-
ICPC
no.
and feel President
now
Ahmed Tinubu
we should
might
know
be
that
good in?
they are similar here, but they are different. EFCC is economic and financial crime. ICPC is independent corrupt party. So anything that is financial crime is under the purview
So
of EFCC.
Dangote did not know before you petitioned him to the ICPC.
Maybe it was because of the advice of his lawyer. So let's put it there that it's with EFCC. So the board now has in EFCC investigate and try that person. But people should not misconcept it. There's a difference between being alleged and being convicted. So Yabelo is still not be convicted. So someone like Malami now, what I
Is
like
he
it or not.
convicted, Malami?
Now, he has not been convicted to go, but he too had the right to go and get bail in court. So after the bail, he can still go and
He has
contest in
gotten
Kebbi
a bail.
State.
You picked him up again.
For another offense, not the same thing. I think this one is by DSS.
Financing.
That doesn't financing. It's very from the one that he picked for up. And whether we like it or not, ESC and ICPC, DSS, they have the right to do whatever they feel like doing. But what I'm saying is that if another person becomes president tomorrow, that is Nigeria. They will say he's been witch-hunting the opposition party. But most important thing is,
Don't you feel if they are not doing something close to it, people will not accuse them like that?
no.
Because Yoruba will
It does not matter.
tell you èèyàn tó bá rí ndí nǹkan lọ́fín law.
It does not matter whether it's right or not. Now, during the jam of Obasanjo, this same Tinubu was saying the same thing. They even accused Jonathan of doing the same thing. So this work of the opposition to do this, to do the same thing that he's doing for him now. So this normal is part of politics, it's part of democracy in action. But most important thing is those that are agencies. That's why we always call for strengthening of institutions. So they are the one that should not be partisan. And make sure that, okay, the person that is being arrested, they have a lot of
By
evidence
your own
that they can
judgment.
use.
Now, what you've seen with the agencies, ICPC, EFCC, even to the police under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, haven't you seen sign of them being partisan?
No, I've not seen any sign being partisan. Now, as time goes on, if those cases,
because someone
what's
the name of this minister under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? From I think it's from Rivers.
Okay.
2024.
Okay, this is from the humanitarian affairs.
Humanitarian affairs.
He
was not charged.
They said this was still under investigation because this of humanitarian affairs has started to resign of late President Buhari.
No, not Sadiq. The one that was appointed under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
That ministry has been under controversy. It was this a ministry during Buhari that were feeding.
That the minister that was taken away. Till today, she has not been charged to court.
They said
today
they are investigating. Because what we have to understand about investigating a financial crime is that it's a lot of time and money that we put into it. Because they have to travel, they have to get a lot of forensic examination. And what we should understand is, if all over the world, this your financial crime and advanced free fraud, all this is something that has a jail time that is not as much as robbery. Even in US and everywhere. Now, this former French president, Nicolas Sarkozy, was convinced how many times they use in prison. So this is normal thing all over the world, and whether we like it or not, that's why we call for strengthening of institution and for a whole holistic approach in tackling corruption. As far as I'm concerned, it's not arresting of Malami and big wigs that is fighting corruption. We should go and fight it from our mentality, from the grassroots. Now look at what happened in Lagos on Monday. A petrol tanker was battered on the road. People were scooping the fuel. Something that is dangerous that can even cost your life.
Is that also corruption?
It's not the corruption. That's why it started. Now, because you see that this is a free fuel, and just a phone call can trigger fire. But because it is free fuel that I will buy for 10,000, I will get it for free, they were scooping it. Instead of leaving it or even call the fire service. Thank God for the fire service of Lagos State that was proactive. And that's many of them would die. So this is why it started from. Now, if some people like that get to the court of power, what would they do?
Now, let's look at the EFCC and their fight against this corruption and why they are not winning a lot of these cases. Because like my old rightly said, we still have the Abelos case in court. Because this man now, if he leaves Olukayode, the next person comes in, that might die a natural death and we might not hear it again.
Wait, they will transfer the file now. He said this issue of Malami.
Yes.
They said the case he inherited the case. Said
some will also tell that he inherited the case. We heard about it because Malami wanted to go to the ADC. That if Malami had wanted to remain in the APC, we might not hear about it.
Well, let's prove him.
We just talked about Beta Edu. I remember.
Yeah, Beta Edu. Yes.
We just talked about Beta Edu, and we've not heard anything. I remember then President Bola Ahmed Tinubu asked him and the financial minister to be the one to probe and look at what was happening in there, and they decided to suspend the woman from office. And she didn't come back again.
But they are still probing.
From that time till now?
Well, as I said earlier.
Might even take 5 years.
5 years to investigate. It's a lot of
Look at even the case of Desiani. For how long have they been trying Desiani? How long has Jonathan left office? Until now, we have never even had an end to even a trial overseas, talk less of Nigeria. The trial is still on.
Exactly. She has a preliminary proceeding on Monday, like I said earlier. And the trial is expected to continue, I think, on Monday, January 24. But at least we have an update from them. We have an update from them.
So, the one of Yabelu is still in court. The one of Malami is still in court. So we should allow the court to have its way, and we urge the anti-corruption agencies to make sure that they prove that case beyond reasonable doubt.
In most cases, it's often common to us in this part of the world that when a case drags on in the court, we say, the court has been compromised.
Or the case has been withdrawn.
Accusations comes up.
But do you blame the people when you have this case? EFCC said they've done their investigation thoroughly before coming out with this case, and you're dragging it for 5 years. So what's the essence of the investigation that you've done for about 2 or 3 years?
So most of the time, it's not the fault of this anti-graft agency, because we know that the process of the law may take a lot of time. to prove it, and the adjournment from one place to the other. They can even rearrange the case even to some judges. So these are the loophole in the judiciary that make this thing to stay long.
Some have also accused the EFCC that why they are not winning some of these cases, Mau, is because some of these their investigation and the amount they are charging these are prominent and political leaders, that it seems extravagant. That some of those things do not actually they do not do their investigation very well. I give an example. The EFCC, November 13, 2025, told us that Yaya Bello's case has been adjourned in 2026. And in their statement, they mentioned that Yaya Bello is being charged, is being prosecuted by the Economic and Financial Crime Commission. I'm trying to read from the EFCC statement, alongside Umar Shuaibu Oricha and Abdul Salam Audu on a 16-count charge bordering on criminal breach of trust and money laundering to the tune of over 110 billion naira. Some will ask the question that when you say a governor stole about 110 billion naira, how much is the budget of Kogi State?
Yes, thank you so much.
Because those people are saying even the budget of Kogi State, if you join everything together, if you remove 110 billion naira, people will not even collect salary for the 8 years he spent there.
Look, when Yaya Bello was in power, there are a lot of allegations and counter-allegations on salary payments, on the welfare of an average Kogi citizen, on the level of poverty even in Kogi State. And to the surprise of everybody, the EFCC is now coming up with evidences that he's paying upward school fees in far away.
What these people are saying is, don't you think this amount they call is too much? That even if he has stolen, it can't be 110 billion from Kogi.
Let me tell you what you want in. Something like money laundering is difficult to fabricate because there must have been some forensic investigation into this amount being put in place. And money laundering, the processes it takes and the channels it takes in most cases, they don't care. It's just like somebody dealing with in drugs, hard drugs. Those people who are into hard drugs, the mafia, they don't so much care about the amount involved. What they care about is the sources of their business. It is almost the same thing when it comes to money laundering. So money laundering is a case that is always very, very difficult to tackle because it has international connections.
You think we should question the EFCC, their investigation? That's why they're not winning a lot of these cases.
Well, I think instead of blaming EFCC for not winning cases, I think there should be more funds and even expansion of their scope of work. But whether we like it or not, to investigate a single case can take them millions of dollars. To investigate a single case, because it's a matter of networks and even something that would want them to even travel outside the shores of the country. And we even involve a lot of professionals, hackers, a lot of people that can track us. And trackers, the experience and everything does not come cheap. Even the equipment that they will use. Not talk of people that are involved that are big wigs that will try to build the justice system. That try to even build even the structure.
Let's look at this Yaya case. 110 billion. Don't you think it's too much?
Well, it's possible. I know that Nigeria is very rich.
You think Kogi is as rich as someone taking 110 billion?
Definitely, it's very possible.
When you look at some of the security funds, escrow account and others that comes into some of these states, you find out that this is a small fry.
What about those guys? How much is their budget?
Budget is different.
It's different.
It's different from kickbacks. It's different from all this allocation. Even the issue of security vote. That could
ecological funds.
What about bailout funds?
Yes.
During Buhari, some say we are collecting 40 billion, 30 billion bailout funds. What
even collected 60 billion as bailout?
As bailout. What about all this borrowing? What are those borrowing are not in the budget?
So, in your own view, why do you think the EFCC is struggling to probe this individual? Quickly, we'll go on this quick commercial break. But we'll come back from the commercial break. Then we'll continue our conversation and try to throw the phone line open. Take your conversation on the show. You're still listening to Editors Hangout on your Shiny Supreme radio station. Quick commercial break. We will be back.
Àwọn oúnjẹ aládùn tó fẹ́ràn láti máa ṣe o. Tó bá fẹ́ ṣe oúnjẹ tó wúni lórí o.
Ìbá ṣe jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù, àtàdédé, kódà àsáró tàbí spaghetti, ṣe oúnjẹ tó ta wọ́n yọ pẹ̀lú pẹ́pẹ́ tẹ̀rà.
Ta ló mọ̀ ohun ó wá sọ ohun mímu amárají pépé mẹ́rọ́kà ní lúbúlúbú márají pépé mẹ́rọ́kà ní energy drink tó ń mára kọ́fẹ́ mẹ́rọ́kà ní o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká yóò mọ̀ gbẹlúra kára kọ́fẹ́ mẹ́rọ́kà ó dára ká máa ní lọ́wọ́ lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ nínú mọ́tò tó bá ti fẹ́ máa rẹ ni mẹ́rọ́kà ni ó já sómi gbẹlúra ká bára dé o. Mẹ́rọ́kà o mẹ́rọ́kà energy drink yìí máa dára. Gèrè lọ́nà fún tọkùnrin tóbìnrin ló lè mú. Mẹ́rọ́kà ẹ̀nàjìrìǹkì máa dára.
Mẹ́rọ́kà agbára gbàngà agbára tó jagbára lọ. Energy drink lọ́gán tó bá wọnú ara agbára ti dé. Àjọ NAFDAC jẹ́ ló ń tẹ̀. Ilé-iṣẹ́ tó lórúkọ tó ṣe gbẹ́kẹ̀lé. Lédè ká pọ̀ oògùn òyìnbó tó yí pharmaceutical ló gbé jáde.
Mẹ́rọ́kà ẹ̀nàjìrìǹkì máa dára.
Welcome back from the commercial break. Full line is open 0913-655-6952. 0913-655-6952. WhatsApp is 0913-655-6864. 0913-655-6864. That's the WhatsApp line to send messages to on WhatsApp and also call us on the show. Corruption fuels public service. In the absence of conflict of interest, very few people will work in public service. EFCC should line up all the politicians, gatekeepers, bankers, and foreign collaborators who have misappropriated our common wealth and ask them for donation to restart our economy. Is it possible? Koladia Indi from Asadam. Thank you very much, Koladia Indi from Asadam. But quickly, just been notified that we need to quickly go on another quick commercial break. We'll come back from the commercial break and we'll continue the conversation.
Ta ló mọ̀ ohun ó wá sọ ohun mímu amárají pépé mẹ́rọ́kà ní lúbúlúbú márají pépé mẹ́rọ́kà ní energy drink tó ń mára kọ́fẹ́ mẹ́rọ́kà ní o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká yóò mọ̀ gbẹlúra kára kọ́fẹ́ mẹ́rọ́kà ó dára ká máa ní lọ́wọ́ lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ nínú mọ́tò tó bá ti fẹ́ máa rẹ ni mẹ́rọ́kà ni ó já sómi gbẹlúra ká bára dé o. Mẹ́rọ́kà o mẹ́rọ́kà energy drink yìí máa dára. Ó já gèrè lọ́nà fún tọkùnrin tóbìnrin ló lè mú. Mẹ́rọ́kà energy drink yìí máa dára.
Mẹ́rọ́kà agbára gbàngà agbára tó jagbára lọ. Energy drink lọ́gán tó bá wọnú ara agbára ti dé. Àjọ NAFDAC jẹ́ ló ń tẹ̀. Ilé-iṣẹ́ tó lórúkọ tó ṣe gbẹ́kẹ̀lé. Lédè ká pọ̀ oògùn òyìnbó tó yí pharmaceutical ló gbé jáde.
Mẹ́rọ́kà energy drink yìí máa dára.
Welcome back from that commercial break. And the still editors on Hangout on Diamond 88.7 FM, your shiny supreme radio station. My name is Adeyemi Adewale. We're still discussing corruption in the Nigerian political space. And don't forget, we also said we're going to touch about what is happening in Ekiti State ahead of the gubernatorial election. And we have the editor-in-chief of Standard newspaper there in Ekiti State, Mr. Lekan Adejuwon. He's with us on the show, also a very veteran journalist. And together he's going to be giving us updates of what is happening right there in Ekiti State. But before we get back to him, let's see if I can pick a call. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Dr. Larry Okiki, exponent calling from Itakuri Learning.
Good morning to you. Share your contribution.
I wanted to commend the effort of our boss in the studio over there, including Maho.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I want to make a very brief point on corruption.
Mm-hmm.
So, according to one of you, that fighting corruption from the grassroots is the solution to our problems. And corruption, indiscipline, and injustice is the root cause of Nigeria problems. So with injustice, and where there can be no peace, and where there can be no justice, there can be no peace. That was my own short brief comment this morning.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Mr. Adejuwon, are you with us? Good morning. Good morning. It's nice to have you live on your Shining Supreme radio station. Let's talk about what is happening right there in Ekiti State. We got a report yesterday that INEC have lifted ban on campaigns, which means that right now politicians in Ekiti can start their campaign for the gubernatorial election. Is that what is happening right now in the political state in Ekiti? Mm-hmm.
Because today, for the commencement of campaigns for the governorship election coming forth on the 20th of June, 2026.
Okay. Can you give us what is happening in terms of the candidates involved? We know the governor is trying to come back. And what is the issue within the PDP? The PDP right now in Ekiti State, do they have a candidate to vie in this election?
Political situation. Say the situation is calm. To start campaign in earnest. And like what you said, the INEC released the names of those who are going to be on the ballots last Monday. I think they have 11 of them.
11 candidates.
But surprisingly and shockingly, PDP and SDP were conspicuously absent from the list.
What was the reason for that?
Yes, I think that it's no longer the news that there is a kind of internal wrangling that led to court cases between two contestants of the PDP. I'm not very sure what happened at the SDP level, but that of PDP, because it's the major opposition, was prominent. So that it was shocking to most people that the name of Dr. Oluyede, who is the candidate for the PDP, was conspicuously missing in the list. And it has generated a lot of concerns.
Quickly, before... Are you still with us, Mr. D? I was about to ask Mr. Adejuwon there, but unfortunately, is not with us right now. I was about to ask him the chances of the ADC, because this will be the first election for us to test the chances of the ADC ahead of the 2027 general election. But hopefully we can get back to him. But let's get back to taking calls. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Mr. Rotimi from Oro, good morning to you.
Let me tell you the truth. So that's the problem. Now let us face reality. But the moment the leader of country or whatever have interest in this kind of case, corruption or anything, that is why you have a delay or some conspiracy. That is let us make reality. Do you really look at the way this governor Obi started? The first time they went to his house to arrest him, do you know that the present governor used his own private escort to take him out of the house? Can you imagine? That is where conspiracy started. And that is why you know that there's people interested in this. Even the people in the state, they don't want it need to be protected. I don't know why. See the problem you have. So that is the thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rotimi from Moru. Lisa says, good morning. Your guests are only trying to defend the government. If corruption is being dealt with accordingly by the top government officials, the old citizen would adjust before you know it. Government are not showing any act of seriousness to move this country forward as other developed country. All they want is power and more money, not what could better the lives of the people. Ayomi from Tanke. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Officer Mutu calling.
Officer Mitu, good morning to you.
You know, on the issue of corruption,
okay.
You know, we have no tracking device that can track these people the day they get into the office and the day they leave. And these court cases you are saying of, I would like you to leave the comfort of your office and move to court and go and see what it entails. You know, if a lawyer said, my lord, I cannot go on today, the judge cannot force the lawyer to go on. That's it. The judge cannot force the lawyer to go on. They just have to seek adjournment. And in corruption cases in this country of ours, like God somebody said, the anti-corruption agencies are trying. But you know, in this country of ours, these politicians is drop my back and rub your back. Until we have an institution that will work for itself, that's when we get it right. And if we fail to fight corruption, corruption will kill all of us.
Thank you very much. Until we have an institution that it can stand on its own independently, the fight against corruption will be difficult. That's a message from Officer Matthew. Let's talk about our second discussion on the show, and it's the issue of what is happening right there in Ekiti State.